One of New York City's wettest days in decades left the nation's largest city shocked and flooded, and the remnants of Tropical Storm Ophelia pushed ashore on Friday. The already highly saturated region received several inches of rain in a matter of hours across the city's 5 boroughs, paralyzing several subway and commuter rail lines, stranding drivers on highways, flooding basements, and even closing the terminal at LaGuardia Airport for hours o'clock. New York City, Long Island, and the Hudson Valley saw widespread rainfall of between 4 and 6 inches, with some areas seeing more than 7 inches. More than 8 inches of rain had fallen on JFK Airport by late evening. The National Weather Service said Friday's weather broke the airport's all-time daily rainfall record, topping Hurricane Irene's daily record from August 14, 2011 by a quarter inch. The Valley Stream community on Long Island reported receiving its highest rainfall total of 9-10 inches in a 24-hour period. Both New York Governor Kathy Hochul and New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy declared a state of emergency in their respective states because the flooding was wreaking havoc. In addition to record flooding in the New York City area, several inches of rain also fell in New Jersey from Manasquan to Newark. However, no injuries or missing persons were reported as a result of the weather event. Much of the city's subway system, highways and highways were flooded, while at least one terminal at LaGuardia Airport was closed Friday before later reopening. Rainfall reached 8 inches 20 centimeters in some parts of the city, but the sky had calmed a little at night. "This is a dangerous and life-threatening storm," said Governor Kathy Hochul. "I am declaring a state of emergency across New York City, Long Island, and the Hudson Valley due to the extreme rainfall we are seeing across the region," Governor Hochul said on X, formerly known as Twitter. He urged people to take steps to stay safe and never try to travel on flooded roads. No deaths or critical injuries were reported. A state of emergency was also declared in the New Jersey city of Hoboken, just across the Hudson River from New York City. In New York City, Mayor Eric Adams warned the public that it was time for increased vigilance and caution as the state of emergency was declared. "Some of our subway trains are flooded and it is very difficult to move around the city," he said at a press conference. On Friday evening, Adams told CBS, the BBC's U.S. partner, that there had been 15 rescues from cars and 3 rescues from basement apartments. Even though the rain eased on Friday, Governor Hochul warned we were still in the throes of the upheaval. "My biggest worry right now is that people will see the rain subside and people will leave their homes in their vehicles," he said. The flooding caused major disruptions to New York's subway system and Metro North commuter rail service, according to the Metropolitan Transportation Agency. Some subway lines were suspended entirely, and many stations were closed. In Mamaroneck, a Westchester County suburb north of the city, emergency workers used inflatable rafts to rescue people trapped inside buildings by flooding, Reuters reported. Images and video footage showed people wading through knee-deep water, as streets and subways were hit by heavy rain. Several videos uploaded to social media showed water flowing from the ceiling and walls of subway stations and onto submerged platforms. On a street in Brooklyn's South Williamsburg neighborhood, workers knelt in water as they tried to unblock a water main while cardboard and other debris floated by. Some people stacked milk crates and wooden planks to cross flooded sidewalks. Flights to LaGuardia were briefly halted in the morning, and then delayed, due to water in the refueling area. The flooding also forced the closure of one of the airport's 3 terminals for several hours. Terminal A resumed normal operations around 8 p.m. A school in Brooklyn was evacuated because its boiler was smoking, possibly because water got into it, school's Chancellor David Banks said at a news conference. Another school in Brooklyn is cleaning out basement classrooms, City Councilwoman Crystal Hudson said in an email seeking volunteers to help. The New York Rangers and New York Islanders postponed preseason games on Long Island. And at the waterlogged Central Park Zoo, a sea lion swam out of its overflowing pool. Because the zoo was closed due to inclement weather, he looked around briefly before returning to the pool. Zoo officials said in a statement. In Crown Heights, Brooklyn, Jessie Lawrence awakens to the sound of rain dripping from the ceiling of her fourth-floor apartment and hears a strange noise outside her front door. He opened it and found the water coming in thicker and harder, flowing into the hallway and down the stairs, he said. Rain pooled on the roof and seeped through the skylight. Hoboken, New Jersey, and other cities around New York City also experienced flooding. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy called for state offices to close at 3 p.m., except for essential personnel. Why it's raining so hard? The remnants of Tropical Storm Ophelia over the Atlantic Ocean combined with a mid-latitude system coming in from the west. At a time when conditions coming in from the ocean are very likely to develop a storm, said National Weather Service meteorologist Ross Dickman. And this combination of storms occurred in New York for 12 hours. The Weather Service has warned of possible rainfall of 3 to 5 inches 5 to 13 centimeters and told emergency managers to expect more than 6 inches 15 centimeters of rain in some places.